Finally, it happened. We've been waiting so long for this. It's been months since we thought this was going to happen. We've seen it come and go a few times. And I wasn't really sure if this was going to happen before the season because even though, I'd heard about, okay, Carmelo Anthony's probably not going to be in New York. He's going to get out of there. Why would he be in New York next season? There was no sign that things would change because he had a no-trade clause and they were pretty hesitant to pull the trigger. And we didn't know if anyone was going to even offer anything because, honestly, there were reports that, teams were not offering enough for Carmelo Anthony. His value has really decreased over the last few years, and I guess I would say over, the last few months because Phil Jackson actually pretty much killed his trade value. But the Knicks just did it. They were like, you know what? There's no point in us having Carmelo Anthony. We don't want Carmelo Anthony. I keep asking, why would the Knicks want Carmelo? They're obviously not going to make the playoffs. And even if they do, they're not going anywhere. And Carmelo Anthony is an aging star that you just don't need. He's not a guy that you want on your team. I mean, can you still call him star anymore? He's not really playing like it. I guess he's a star scorer, I would say, but he fell to 64 in the ESPN thing. Yeah, I know that's BS, but still, just look at how far he's falling in terms of that. But New York got it done, and honestly, they traded. So I'm gonna get my opinions, but first let's just get the logistics out of the way. The Knicks traded Carmelo for Enes Kanter, Doug McDermott, and a draft pick. I feel like the Knicks, I would say they got finessed. They didn't really need Carmelo Anthony anyway, though. It's not like he was really important to them. They just kind of wanted to get some young guys and start over. Enes Kanter, he might not be bad, but it is funny because Enes Kanter has been talking so much about how, he loves OKC. He it's the best organization and he would never leave, but he just got traded, so it's kind of ironic. And Doug McDermott is the guy they got from the Bulls last season for basically nothing. And he didn't really play that much anyway, so he's not that much. And they traded a draft pick to New York as well. And the Thunder got Carmelo Anthony. So let's just look at the facts here. The Thunder got better. The Thunder got better because they're trying to contend for a championship. They're trying to go all in. And that's clear with the Paul George signing. Hopefully this Carmelo trade is, more reason for PG-13 to stay in OKC, which, you really can never be so sure about because Paul George seems to have his mindset on that LA Lakers squad. He really does. And man, I would be very surprised if he doesn't go to the Lakers because of all that stuff he said. He's been so hesitant to commit to anything, to any sort of I want to stay in OKC. He's not saying anything like that. I mean, he's like, we'll see. He's saying stuff like that. That's how you know. The guy doesn't want to not be in LA, but maybe if they get Carmelo, maybe if they have a great year this year, how could he possibly pass up that opportunity to stay with this team? Because talent-wise, I mean, you got Westbrook, you got PG-13, and now you got Carmelo Anthony. Steven Adams is a great center for this team because he's just going to play his role. He's going to be athletic. He's going to defend and rebound and stuff. Andre Robertson is going to be a good defender as well. I think this is good because you don't need Andre Robertson to really shoot, and you can play. I think they're gonna put Melo in the starting lineup with PG as they're the forwards here. I think the starting lineup would be something like Westbrook, Robertson, George, Melo, and Adams, which honestly that could work. And I'm not gonna say it's guaranteed because again, Melo's a guy that would kind of want the ball, and you're putting three guys in Westbrook, PG, and Melo together that these guys all want the ball, but I think that Paul George is in his career, he's been a really good spot-up shooter player. I mean, yes, he can get a bucket off the dribble, as we all know, but Paul George is a spot-up shooter, is phenomenal. He can do that very well, and that's going to help playing with Westbrook. This also eases the load off Westbrook more because now Westbrook doesn't have to do everything. And maybe this might not be good because, maybe Westbrook wants the ball that much, and that could be a problem because now he's playing with two guys that also need the ball. But I don't think they're going to need the ball so much. I don't think Carmelo Anthony is going to demand the ball all that much. And these guys, you know, it's going to be very interesting, man. It just makes this upcoming NBA season so much more interesting just because of, like, I can't wait to see how these guys play together, because this could be great. I think this could be really good for them, but then again, you know, it's not a guarantee that it would be, you know, fireworks, right? Because Carmelo Anthony, he's a scorer. He's gonna get buckets for you. You still need your defense to be sharp. He's not gonna help that. And you got to make sure everybody gets shots. You got to make sure that, like, Carmelo and PG and Westbrook all get their shots, because that's what they're there for. But yeah, I mean, besides these guys, I really like that they have Robertson and Adams in this lineup as well, because I mean, I think they make really good role players alongside these guys. I think they will be really good playing besides these guys. And Paul George is also a guy that can lock down on defense as well. So I think that defensively they should be pretty good, honestly. And offensively, their shooting should be much improved. They were one of the worst shooting teams last year, and that was really hard on Russell Westbrook because he's the guy you need to put shooters around him. You got PG and Melo to shoot the ball now, and PG and Melo to take the pressure off Russell Westbrook, which, like I said, could be a blessing and a curse. Maybe, you know, Russell Westbrook will have the ball too much next season compared to how much, you know, PG and Melo have it. Or maybe, you know, he'll be more efficient because these guys have the ball more. He's going to get better shots. But, you know, it's Westbrook, so we have to wait and see what we get from him. So, I think, yeah, this trade, I could say, you know, team won or lost. I think that the Thunder won because they're trying to contend for a championship, and whether or not this fits better, you know, it gives them more potential to win a championship. I think that their championship odds have increased because of this trade, especially with what they gave up. Enes Kanter, yeah, he was pretty solid, but, you know, Doug McDermott, draft pick, you know, I mean, it doesn't really matter. Enes Kanter is the only really big piece you lose, and Enes Kanter was always really strange because Enes Kanter never really had a role for himself because he's been a starter and then he's been on the bench, but he's obviously capable of being a starter, but he didn't really work. I don't know what the deal was with him, but he's out of there now. And man, oh man, the Western Conference is going to be insane. It's going to be ridiculous. That's all I'm going to watch next year, really. Yeah, the Thunder get better. The Knicks, no one's really going to talk about the Knicks here, but, you know, the Knicks are going young, and Porzingis is clearly the guy now. If it wasn't that clear already, it's 100% crystal clear now. They're putting Kanter next to him. Not exactly sure how that's going to work out. I guess we'll see. And I think this is actually good for their rookie, Frank Ntilikina. I don't know. I think that's how I say it, but whatever, it might not be. He will have more touches and just a higher presence. I think that he's going to be more important to the offense, and he's going to be established better now that Melo's not there anymore. I think this is actually pretty smart for the Knicks. Like, there's no point in keeping Carmelo Anthony, and you got to trade that contract away. I think they're in a better place to rebuild now. I think that they you know, this is where they want to be. There's no point in keeping Melo. Yes, maybe they could have gotten more. I don't know how much teams were offering for Melo, but I heard they weren't offering that much anyway. So it's like, would you get a better deal than this? A lot of people might say, oh yeah, Carmelo Anthony would. But then again, remember, Carmelo has a big contract. Carmelo is getting older. Carmelo is just a scorer at this point. You know, there's a lot of restrictions, I guess, limitations on Carmelo right now, and why you wouldn't want him. So, you know, I do think that was really in play here. But either way, I think this is a good trade. I'm really happy this happened. I guess, I don't know, the Knicks, I guess I could say they won, right? People might be like, oh, well, they got nothing for Melo. But, you know, what were they really going to get from Melo anyway? I think that Enes Kanter might not have been the best. Like let's just say they could have gotten someone better than Enes Kanter, or someone that made more sense, like someone younger, from any given team. But then again, it's like, they had to get rid of Melo anyway. So getting rid of Melo, I think they win for just even for getting rid of him, because they needed to get rid of him. Okay, it was time to move on. So yeah, I'm happy that this happened. I really am for the NBA. I think it's a good trade for the NBA, except for the fact that the Eastern Conference just continues to get weaker and the West just continues to get stronger. But yeah, that's gonna do it. What do you think about this trade? Who won? Who lost? What do you think the Thunder are going to do next season? Like if you enjoy, subscribe if you're new, and I'm out. Thanks for watching, y'all. Peace.